Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to focus on the basics of data cleaning, and I'm going to share with you 10 quick and dirty tips to clean data when you first get it. And we provide lots of resources in the course resource section of more in-depth and fancier tricks on how to do this as you grow in competency. So to do this example, we are going to use a piece of data that my team collected in Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is going through some significant changes in the coffee growing and selling industry, which is a very significant part of how people in Papua New Guinea make their living, especially rural people and poor people. And there's a bunch of changes in technology and labor and economics and social situations that is really affecting the coffee industry in Papua New Guinea. And this is a story that can be told and should be told really well with some data. So we sent a couple of people down there to work with some data collection on the ground in Papua New Guinea, and I'm going to share with you a small sample of the spreadsheet of the data that we used to build that data story. And don't worry, the data that I'm sharing with you has been completely anonymized. People's names have been removed, and identifying information has either been removed or changed. So this is just to give you an idea of what raw data looks like when you get it, and the first couple of things you need to do to clean it. So we're going to start out by looking at the data in Excel. My most common data cleaning process involves working with the data in Excel and then importing the data in Tableau and doing some visualizations. So here's the copy of the spreadsheet, and this is available for you in the course resources if you want to download it yourself and do some work on your own. First thing you'll want to do, step one, is to reformat or reshape the data. So you'll see that this data here includes two rows, which are very helpful and important rows. They tell us when the data was collected and who collected the data. That's very important metadata that we've talked about before. But in terms of actually analyzing the data and importing this data into Excel, Tableau, or any other statistical software, you need to get rid of all of these sort of metadata rows. So you will want to delete that. And so now we can see that row one is only the variable names. So you need to manipulate your data until only variable names exist at the top, and then check the bottom. Often down here in these couple of rows, there'll be some notes or some flags or some comments from the data collection team. So you always want to check down there because that can really mess things up. So once you've reformatted your data, the next thing you want to do is get to know what's in each and every column. So our columns include respondent ID, the date, the village, the age, the female age, the length of the marriage, the bride price, the bride quantity, who looks after the household income, source of household income, and so on. What you'll want to do is take a moment and figure out in each of these columns, what type of data is this? Remember, we have two basic types of data, numeric data and non-numeric data. So when you're looking at a type of data that is numeric, one of the tricks that I use is to use the Excel format function to add decimal points to all numeric data. Even if those decimal points are 0.00, it's very helpful when you're importing or exporting the data set from various programs like Excel, Tableau, if you want to use R, anything like that. That's a really good way to know for sure that the numeric variables are going to be read as numeric. And it's a nice way to catch mistakes in the data. So age and female age are both numeric. And I'm going to go up here, format those cells. I'm going to tell Excel they're a number, and I'm going to say I want to use 2 decimal places. So this is a quick and easy kind of guerrilla way to make sure that your numeric variables are in fact numeric variables. Now you can see here we have a couple of NAs in a numeric column. We'll deal with that a bit later. So that's step 2. Change your numeric variables to have 2 decimal points. Step 3 is looking at the non-numeric variables. So for example, one of our non-numeric variables here is how does she spend her day from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., from 9 a.m. to noon to 3, and so on throughout the night. And you can see that this has been coded in such a way that, I'll just wrap that text, that there's a variety of different data pieces sharing the same cell. So this cell here says prepare breakfast for school children, do household chores, cleaning dishes, and fetch water. So I want to break those out into different data points. So this is one of the really great things about Excel. It's called text to columns. It's sort of one of Excel's secret So I'm going to insert columns. I'm going to insert a bunch of columns here. Then I'm going to highlight the variable that's holding the non-numeric data. And I'm going to go up to data, and I'm going to choose text to columns. So what's that's going to do is it's going to divide this text into a number of different columns. It's very useful in cleaning up text and non-numeric data. So is your text fixed width or delimited? Mine is actually delimited, so that means commas are separating the fields. If it's fixed width, that means that they're all the same number, the same length. Mine's delimited, and here you can choose between the basic ones, or you can add other, which is very helpful. I often have an other, but in this case I have a comma. So that gives you a little preview. That looks very good, and I am going to say finish. So now you can see that this has been broken up into individual cells, so I can analyze each activity by itself, and I need to give these variables new names so I can tell them apart. And I'm going to call it how she spends her day 1, how she spends her day 2, how she spends her day 3. Now make sure that each time you do this, you're going back to your Word document and you're writing down exactly what you did. So took column Y, how she spends her day 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., use text to columns to divide into individual answers. You're going to need to know this if you need to do any kind of recreation, or if you need to fix something, or if you need to justify to an editor or to your audience why you made the decisions that you did.